Okay, so that's our purpose statement. Using that, circle the 2 to 3 strongest aspects of your home group. What do you do best? What goes well in your group? A committed group gathers regularly to care for one another around the word in prayer. Okay? In the space next to the circled items, write why that's a strength. So why is that one of your strengths? What is it that you do? What is it that happens in group? What is it about your group that makes that a strength? Okay? Number 3, weaknesses. What are 1 to 2 weakness points of your group? Circle the weaknesses and write next to it why it's a weakness. Same list there. Okay? Okay, then flip over the sheet if you got it folded like I do. Assessment 4, personal encouragement. How has your group been a gift or an encouragement to you as a host? So how has it been a gift from the Lord that you have had a chance to be a host of a home group this year? How has it been a gift? How has it encouraged you? How have you received it as a gift from the Lord? Number 5, outreach. In what ways has your group affected the people around it who are not a part of the group or who do not yet know Jesus as Savior? Okay, assess those 5 things there. And then once you're done with that, I want you to think through tangible next steps. So look back at your strengths and think of a tangible action that you can support and build on and enhance that strength. Okay, tangible steps. What can you do this week, this next month, to enhance, support those strengths? Weaknesses. What tangible action can you take this next month to address those weaknesses? What can you do to try and fix it, work on it, etc.? Personal encouragement. Okay, this is where you're going to actually turn the gift that you have received and you're actually going to say, who can I share that gift with? What future leader in your group could you share the blessings of being a host with? What can you do this month to do that? Okay, then number 4, outreach. Jot down an idea or 2 that you hear from another group. So save that one for the end. You're going to work through that whole sheet right there in about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to split you up into pairs, and you're going to talk through it with somebody. On the back, you can see talk it through. You're going to share back and forth, follow the 3 steps, and then we'll come back together. Any questions? Any questions make sense? Okay, don't throw this away. Write down stuff. At the end of today, I'm going to want you to take a picture of this and send it to me. I'll share it with your neighborhood coach, and then we'll keep each other accountable on it for the next month. Okay, so write down some stuff and then take a picture of it at the end. Those of you guys at home, maybe jot down some notes on a piece of paper so that when I'm going to give you guys breakout rooms in a little bit so that you can talk about it with each other. Sound good? Okay, awesome. All right, take 10-15 minutes. I'll turn on some tunes. We're gonna do 1 more minute, and then I've got groups for you guys. Sean and John McCracken. I'll put you guys in a room together to chat, and then the Howells and Erica and Shannon, you guys can be together. So, and Kyle, what's up, Kyle? Yo, go Bruins. Up into groups. Look on the back side. So you see the little section that says talk it through. Okay, work through each of those 3 things together. Okay, share your group's identity. Kind of talk through what your group is looking like right now with the other person. Share some feedback. Encourage the other person. You know, point out some of the things that are unique, maybe that is different from your group. Work through that together. Number 2, share the ideas you have to enhance and support your group's strengths. Let me turn off this music. That's going to keep me distracted. There we go. Share the things that enhance and support your group's strengths and your plans to address weaknesses. Maybe bounce some ideas off each other. Talk through those. Talk through, this is one of my strengths, and here's what I'd like to do to support it. This is one of my group's weaknesses. This is what I want to do to address it. Do you have any ideas? Okay, that's number 2. And then number 3, pray for each other and for your group's growth this next season. If you've got somebody that you are really wanting to share leadership with, then pray for that person. There are some needs in your group. Pray together for your group, okay? So split up, grab one other person and talk through it. So I'll just let you figure that out, okay? So find another person and talk through it. Use the time wisely. You guys on the Zoom call, I'll split you up into groups. Here we go. There you go. So take some time, y'all. Go ahead, chat. Lord, thank you for this time that you've given us to stop from our regular getting ready for a gathering, getting houses cleaned, making sure that things are set up, rushing to have people over and getting the curriculum ready and talking to people, and then we close the door behind the last person and just breathe a sigh. Thanks for this time where we can stop and look back at your work and praise you for it. And thank you for how you have helped our groups to form. And then look forward at a new year and pray for growth and look forward to new things, asking you to do a work and asking you to grow us as hosts and leaders, grow our members in their care for one another around the word and prayer. And then, Lord, that our church would even be blessed through this whole ministry. So thanks for this time. I pray that even these next few minutes, sharing some of the insights we gain from each other would be beneficial to all of us. Help us all to find a couple things that can help us to grow as hosts tonight. And I pray that we would listen well, have wisdom, we'd have insight into what our group needs, and we'd be able to take next steps together. Thank you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, let's turn our seats around. I've got up on the screen those 5 areas. Can you all see that on your screens? I think I got it shared for you. I would love to hear from you some of your ideas for how to enhance or support one of the strengths in your groups, or how to address a weakness. So you could just say, hey, our group, it seems like this has been good for our group this year, and then share how you're going to try and support that, or we've really struggled in this year, and here's something we're going to do to address that, okay? I've got this on Bluetooth. Would somebody be willing to be a runner to help me just take this to somebody when they talk? So thanks, Jordan. You can hang here. Okay, so first of all, I want to hear some of the unique things that you heard from the other groups. So what did you hear from the person you were talking to that was unique or interesting or good? Why don't you just bless that person and say, it sounds like they're really good at this. Sounds like their group is really strong here. Let's hear a couple of those real quick. You on the call, you're welcome to unmute and share what you got as well.
It's really sweet to just hear how Greg's been able to train Joe Mazingo and get him involved in leading groups and getting ready to eventually host a group.
Awesome. Way to go, Craig. Discipling Joe Mazingo. Love it. Jomo. If anybody wants to make that nickname stick, that's free right there. Jomo. That works. It is now.
Yeah.
It is now. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Yeah, Jim.
I think it's really encouraging and a smaller group like what Jordan has with the 6 folks and younger couples with kids, and how the dynamics of it, how they're recognizing that they can care for one another around the word. At the same time, they're discipling. You can't do everything, but they are caring for one another, and they're moving from that social relationship to more personal and some more intimate.
Very good. Yeah, being creative with lots of kids. So it's good to hear. Okay, somebody else bless the person that you were listening to by sharing an insight. Yeah, Craig.
Yeah, one of the weaknesses we had in our group was maybe the prayer aspect of it. And Daniel gave me a good idea for a prayer tag where we do a prayer and a scripture, and we send it around to each one of the group and encourage them to pass it on to somebody else. So
nice.
it fit in really perfect.
Oh, I like that a lot. Okay, so Daniel, can you explain how you do that?
I haven't done it yet. So.
So all
That is awesome.
text a passage, is that the idea?
Yeah, text a passage and say, hey, this is what I'm praying for you, and then put underneath that, hey, pass along something, what you're praying to somebody else in the group.
Okay, and then pass it on.
Great idea.
I
like it. Okay, very good. You'll notice that I got a little bit thinner on my pen there. It was a little plump. Okay, somebody else. Bless the person that you were with. Talk about their group for a minute. Give us a little insight that you grabbed from them.
I was encouraged to hear how Frank's caring for his group. He's got the Kellys, and they're a little older, and then he's got also really young people, the Mulders. Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wilson.
Olivia Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just I know the difficulties of having the spectrum where you feel like you're kind of like the only ones in your age group, and you have like really young people, really old people, and so I'm just encouraged to see Frank taking care of people and also leading that group.
Very good.
Hey,
Awesome.
that's really old.
Very old people.
Why's everyone looking at me? What's the oldest guy here?
I thought this was encouraging.
Awesome. A little friendly banter going on in the room about age, so it's good times. Anybody else? And then I'd love to hear some of your ideas. Yeah, Aaron.
So the Quakers have been using their mealtime kind of as a mercenary prayer time, since you're gathered around the table. They didn't say it that way, but while you're here, let's really spend some intentional time praying. And, that just flows so well. So it's like a really great way of really joining those things together.
That's great. Okay, so mealtime, while you're eating, you pray.
Yeah, we'll go around and everyone shares something.
We'll share a request while we're eating, and then we'll stop eating and pray.
Yeah. And then we go into the study. So we pray first after a meal.
I like that. So share requests while you're eating. That's great. And then you just stop to pray midway through or at the end, or?
Yeah, just kind of as we're gonna people are done eating and before we move over to the living room and have the actual study or the.
So instead of just making small talk, you're actually trying to direct that, make it focused.
Yeah, and give actual time for prayer instead of rushing it.
Very good. Love it. Good. Okay, anything else that you saw? Okay, let's work through these, okay? How many of you said, let's see, that your group, one of your strengths is that you are a committed group? How many of you said that? Okay, great. So what are some of the ways that you're going to support that? What were some ideas that you had to support or enhance being a committed group? Joe?
Looking for ways to serve together outside of the official group times.
Ways to serve outside group. This is always huge. It will exponentially improve your group time if you can do something outside of group. And you're looking for a way to serve outside of group. Very good. Okay, what else? What else? How can you foster, grow, being a committed group?
Just do something else outside just regular home group time.
Do something else. Do you have any ideas, Jotham? What are you going to do?
A breakfast on a Saturday. That's
Okay.
what I'm thinking. It's really easy.
Flapjacks.
Breakfast is an easy meal to cook.
Yes?
Eggs and bacon and you're done.
Very good.
You
Y'all
gotta get
on
them
the
right,
call,
though.
are you hearing better now? Thumbs up. Good. You can thank Jordan, our roving mic guy.
Keep me running.
2 people applauded Jordan. Okay. Any other strengths for committed groups? Any other strengths, things you're going to do to support it? Anybody say, we are not a committed group, it's a weakness, and this is what I want to do to try and fix it? Anybody like that?
Yeah, ours is.
Okay.
We're just doing more fellowship activities.
Okay. More fellowship. And this week, what's your idea?
This week is Super Bowl. Next week we're doing meal.
Okay.
So I have some unique challenges just because I have to be gone on Sundays for sometimes. So it's just trying to be preemptive, trying to front load some relationship, knowing some distance is coming. So.
Yeah, it's good. Was there another committed person that's trying something new too? My encouragement on this one would be, as much as you can, try and use the new year as a way to gather some commitment and just say, hey, through May, let's commit to each other to help each other walk with the Lord, and actually set it up as an opportunity that people can commit more to this. Say, hey, I need you all in my life, and we need you. We need each other. So let's almost build an identity for your group out of this January, or we're now in February to May season. Let's commit together that this is going to be a priority for us. And then you add on some of those things like an extra breakfast, an extra meal, serving outside the group like Joe mentioned. That could be a real blessing. It's good. Any other stuff on ideas you have to support being a committed group. Yeah, Jared.
One of the things I do, like the very first time that we meet in the beginning of the year, and then again, just kind of re-up like after the Christmas break, is I kind of like talk about the home group, like the commitment of it, and be like, hey, who home group is for? Like, hey, this is really for people who are going to commit to come and sacrifice every week, you know. Again, it's like you're not in trouble if you don't, but if you don't think you can, or you have whatever, then this might not be. So I try to set it up so it's like, hey, from the get-go, like basically you got to be here every week.
Yes.
But in a very nice, kind, gracious way. Like,
yeah,
this is not for people that are just willy-nilly bumping in, bumping out, because we're getting real with each other. We're sharing like sensitive things, and
yes,
so that I feel like that really helps right out the gate. They're like, oh, I better be there.
Yep.
And, so I know with college students, you can say maybe things a little bit more like that, but I think that's an idea that works really well.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good, Jared. The illustration that you can think of with this one is when you're dating, the more you talk about the relationship, the more you have a relationship, right? So the more you actually, instead of just talking about stuff you're doing and things you like, when you start talking about each other, you start talking about the relationship you have, suddenly your intimacy level and connection level goes through the roof. Because suddenly now, oh, we are something. Like, it's not just we're hanging out and having fun. No, it's like, it's us. And so you can see how a relationship can actually move forward the more you actually talk about, okay, who are we as a group? And what is this relationship that we share across the couch from each other or across the room? We're not just coming in talking about the Bible. We're actually coming in to get into each other's lives. That's what Jared's describing. That's really good. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Gathers regularly. I don't think we need to spend a ton of time on this one, but anybody have any ideas on this one about how to grow, support, enhance this? Anything you heard, Jim?
I think some groups might have to be more fluid, just based on the seasons of life that people would be in. And although we do it every Thursday, it's well, this Thursday might not work.
Yes.
So can you want me Friday? Right? Instead of, well, we're just not going to be.
Yeah. That's good. That's very good. How many of you had to do something like that at times? Yeah. It's good. Okay, so this week we have to adjust the meeting time. Okay, good. Any other ideas? I like that, Jim.
Not get COVID.
Oh, we get much of that. It doesn't matter.
Not get COVID. I'm writing it down. There we go. And hold on, I'll draw it for you guys. There's a little COVID illustration. Okay, how's that? It's beautiful. That's what the news tells me it looks like. So, okay. All right. Any other ones on this one?
Like, I'm just thinking of like the Zoom meetings. If you can be more proactive as a leader and like calling out people, and I think that helps with people committing to actually just like, it's really easy on a Zoom call just to not say anything.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not actually asking probing questions, then you're not going to get a response on your Zoom meetings.
Zoom life. Yep. Yeah, if you have to go Zoom because of an isolation or a COVID outbreak, like everybody in your group had it, right? Yeah. Then work to engage. And you know what it's like. You guys know what it's like after those Zoom calls. You are just absolutely exhausted. You feel like you're juggling and like doing a laser show behind you, like, come on, people. It's worth it though to try and make it engaging for people, especially if you have to do it for a few weeks. It's good. Okay, any other ideas on this one? Anybody on the call? Sorry I didn't.
Speaking of Zoom.
You guys, raise your hand or something. You guys have anything? Well, I'm talking about Zoom. It's a great opportunity to just talk to you guys.
One thing on Zoom really quick is you can do a game on Zoom. We did that a couple weeks ago, and it was actually, we did like Pictionary on Zoom, and I would like text, and it was hilarious because we had like people there at my house and the people on Zoom too, but we only did it for like maybe 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It was like an icebreaker activity, but it was really fun. and use the whiteboard. So
Awesome. That's good. Good idea, man. Like it. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Who would say that, you know what, either their strength or weakness, they have some ideas for trying to care for one another? What were your tangible steps that you're going to do this week, the next few weeks, to grow and care for one another or support a strength in your group for caring one another? Maybe you even heard something from somebody else.
That's probably a weakness for our group.
Okay.
Just that while they're very committed, just through the week, don't really see much happening between people. So I'm going to try and do like popsicle prayers where we just write people's names on a popsicle and you take a popsicle home with you. Popsicle. But your goal for that week would be to just pray for this person's name and pray for them, text them, reach out to whatever, but one connection that week. And we'll change it each week.
That's good. I like that, Joseph. Pass them out and pray that week. Good.
Chew on it for the week.
Chew on that popsicle stick.
Does it
Yeah.
count the popsicle to start?
Maybe in the summer.
I like that. And then
It's a COVID hazard.
do you have any kind of accountability or follow-up on that? Or
I'm going to try and pair people off.
Yes.
So that way they're kind of accountable. I don't know. I'm not up to the accountability. Would you have any thoughts about
I was just thinking, you know, maybe like a reminder to pray for your popsicle. Your popsicle prayer partner. I don't know.
Make a popsicle throughout the week and bring it back next Sunday.
That's a great one. He's thinking creatively though, so I think that's good. What he's trying to do is he's trying to get care to happen between people. Yeah, Alex.
You have to put a tick mark on it every time you pray and bring it back in.
That's a cool idea.
So they're like, oh, 6 times I prayed for this person.
Awesome. I like that. Good idea. Yeah, that's the kind of, it's just, you're trying to, basically what you're trying to do is equip people to care for one another. And a lot of times it's not that they don't want to, it's actually that people want to. They just have busy lives, they have distracted lives. And as much as we can do to make it very easy and smooth to care for each other. I mean, even as simple as assigning somebody in a group on Wednesday, if you meet on Sundays, or on Friday, just say, hey, let's all send a prayer update or a life update on your box thread or your group thread or Telegram or whatever you're using. To be able to just get some conversation going and thinking about each other, that can be a help. Any other ideas for this one? How many of you say this is a weakness for our group and we'd like to grow in it? Okay, what ideas do you have? Let's throw out some ideas. What are you going to do? Okay, there you go, popsicles. There's going to be a run on popsicles, guys.
we're gonna do a collective care time. So we'll, be thinking about a person that we know of that has a need, and then the home group night will basically be like, hey, 3 or 4 people are gonna write a card. Several people are maybe gonna run out and buy gift cards, and this other person is gonna go and do something else. So we'll all be collectively just doing something that would be really caring for somebody.
So like bless one person. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. What other ideas? Let's get down like 3 or 4 more. You're welcome to steal these. Remember, you got a section on your sheet to write down ideas you're going to use. What else we got? Ideas to care for one another.
In some ways, I think this one falls a lot on the leader. So like if we can even just set a reminder throughout the week somewhere just to reach out, ask how people are doing.
Good. Send a reminder for a reach out. Yep. What were you going to say, Will?
Well, I just the basic stuff, but actually just doing it. So like we have a couple single girls, so we have a 3-way text thread with Christy and I and her. And it's just so that there's actual conversations actually going. And she feels like she can ask me questions. Like she wants to ask a pastor questions, but doesn't feel like she can ask me.
Yes.
The other one was really just talking. I loved how you said it. Like, where do you want our relationship to be? So like in the middle of, home group, and it sounds like somebody's hurting or somebody's off. We just did this that was helpful. And we're like, okay, before we go on, who's going to potentially care for this person this week? So this person's there and we're actually just putting it out in the public, and it's, and to have people grab it and say, oh, I'll pick you up and we'll go over to her house and we'll help her XYZ.
Yes. Hand off ownership. Yep, I like that. Do you see what Will just did there? He wasn't the only person doing that kind of ministry. He actually is going to empower someone else in the group to take ownership and care for that. Love it. Really good. Okay, what else? Those are great tips, Will.
I just put, like with prayer, it starts with the leader, so just be more disciplined and carve out more time for prayer yourself, and then just encourage the group to pray for one another. So if you're praying for someone, I love Daniel's idea because just let them know that you're praying for them, and then encourage them to pray for somebody else in the group too. That's great.
It's good. So you're leading from your own pursuit. Yeah, that is spiritual leadership, y'all. Is that you pursue the Lord and then you help other people pursue the Lord as you do. Really good. Thanks, Dad. Okay, any other ideas on this one?
Just a really simple thing. We use the church center texting for our home group,
Yes.
and you can have within the group you can have different threads. So we actually have a thread specific, like we have a general thread, but then we have one specifically for prayer requests. It's just a small thing, but it helps.
Yeah.
It helps us.
So you can go there and see how people are doing, and that's great.
Yeah.
If you want to, everyone that has a planning center group, which is all the home groups, you can use the groups app within Church Center to have your own little home group section. You can post files, you can send updates, have a calendar. So Jordan's using that. It's really good. Okay, let's talk about the last two around the word and prayer. What ideas did you have to grow in gathering and caring for one another around the word or in prayer? What ideas did you have on those ones? To grow in that support, strength, or grow in a weakness? Yeah, Alex.
So that was kind of the thing that we were groups kind of week at, and I had an idea of asking for scripture at the beginning, or just like doing updates that people have been reading for that week, what they've been meditating on, and bringing it in that way. So it initiates a conversation. What have you guys been reading?
Good.
Talk about it.
Great. Okay, what else? Yeah, Jim.
I think making it a priority would be good. Past groups too, where you end up sharing a lot of all your life updates and all that. It can kind of get distracting, and you end up not talking about the word as much as everything else.
Yep. Okay, so make it a priority so you don't lose it. Good. What else? Anybody changing curriculums this year because something maybe last year wasn't working and you're trying something new?
Yeah, I tried to do a video series that I didn't preview prior, and it was also that I'd done the book study before, so I assumed the video would be awesome, and then and it would facilitate the teaching time if I had to be absent. So I thought it was going to be a kicking idea. It was an absolute disaster, and it was bad videos, not enjoyable. In people's minds, they didn't have skin in the game.
Yeah.
So I think they were kind of like, well, maybe we'll come to this one, maybe we won't come to this one. It's not, it's just, whatever, and it just was a disaster. And so even this year, since switching to the sermon-based, people are very engaged. They're pumped about coming about it, and it has helped for us.
That's really good. Good to hear. George, you said you were switching? You can change by alternate Timothy Lane. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the key group spot for me. Thanks.
If anybody wants to try it, we don't recommend it. Okay, Jordan.
We're just actually doing a video series. This and we love it. No, we were trying to do just a walking through the Bible study in Colossians, but because of kids and just dynamics of it was just not work. Like we got derailed every 5 seconds. So we're doing just a fairly short video series, and we're doing it right at the beginning, and so that's working better for us.
So, VeggieTales?
Yeah, VeggieTales. Yeah, it's really.
Awesome. Any other ideas, ways you're going to try and address a problem or support care around the word and prayer? We kind of talked about prayer quite a bit. Is there any other ideas that you've had, Frank?
Around the word, I think this is a strength in our group. but also along the lines of a future leadership. I think I'm going to give more opportunities for, particularly for Bill Kelly, to hopefully lead us in discussion and have have another perspective or approach to that, because there's a lot of strength in our group to approach that different ways. So I think that's building strength on strength there.
It's good. It's very good. And the group gets a chance to be encouraged by another voice, and you are able to listen and be edified. It's really good. Great. Any other ideas? What are you going to try to grow this year in your caring for one another around the Word? Okay, any last ideas for prayer? How your group's going to grow in prayer? Our idea for around the Word this last week, somebody just mentioned one of the application points was that we could give ourselves more to just our own personal Bible reading. And somebody, we all just said, hey, how can we do that? How can we help each other? And somebody volunteered to text us just a question on Wednesday. This is just one of those, it just needs a little tap, but a text that says, hey, how's your time in the Word going this week? And then we're all just going to share how it's going. And hopefully that'll bear fruit in more opportunities to talk about what God's doing in our lives, specifically through our devotions. So. Okay, any ideas for prayer? Yeah, Aaron.
Yeah, I might just use Valley Vision or Prone to Wander, where you've got, but not all the time, but as ways of kind of getting people better prayer language in their own minds. So read through a couple of those every once in a while, just to kind of start us out in our prayer time.
It's very good. Okay, great. Yeah, you actually choose a pre-written prayer and use that as a guide. It's good. Any other ideas?
Yeah, one of the things we did it in last year in our community groups for their home groups, with where we would team up, just two people together, and they'd be after we'd have a time of prayer requests, and then after that I would just team everyone up, and we did that for several different weeks, and I just felt like it really helped our group grow. So that's something that I want to do with our home group, in growing in our prayer time, is just split everyone up in twos, and so throughout the week you're supposed to be checking in, texting up, maybe
it's good,
calling,
yeah,
and then we ask about it and say, hey, how'd that go, and kind of keep accountable too.
So for that night and the next week, it becomes that's kind of like a riff on Popsicle Pals.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah.
Jared's like, no, don't rope me into this. That's good. Okay, y'all, I hope you gained something. Frank's got one more, and then we'll finish up.
Yeah, I just want to point out the prayer points that have been included in the discussion handouts. I know we've structured our prayer, either to open or end our discussion around those, and they've been, I think they've opened up some avenues of prayer that we otherwise might get in a rut sometimes. So whether it's in the discussion, or even if it's something that you follow up after, different days of the week, those have been helpful. And they're right there, real easy.
Just at the bottom of the guide. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, great idea. That's a great point. Well, thanks for this, y'all. I hope you gained something. I hope you grabbed a couple ideas. I hope it was good for you to think about this next semester in terms of what can I intentionally do to grow in these things. Before you go, here's what I want. I want everybody to snap a shot of it and text it to 801-508-4610. Here's the number. Okay? Jordan, prepare yourself. 801-508-4610. Okay, there it is on the screen. Okay, take a picture of it, snap it, send it to that. Here's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to keep a copy to give you back next month, and then also we'll kind of keep it as a help for us throughout the semester. And then I'm going to send it to your neighborhood coach, just as a level of accountability for you. That way you can take some steps in this. I'll get you a copy of it, Josh. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Thanks.
How did SCA go?
That was great.
Good.
Great kickoff.
Awesome. It's good to hear.
25.
Very good. Yeah, bless it. Well, as you go, I want to remind you of a couple things. first of all, that your neighborhood coach is here for you. I'm here for you. I'd love to be able to answer questions that you have. However, I can support you. Your neighborhood coach is there to help you if you've got any of your 3 C's, like your celebrate, counseling, crisis moments. Bump those up to your neighborhood coach or bump them up to me. We'd love to help you with that. You don't have to feel like you have to pastor people if you're not one of the pastors. Will, Joseph, and Josh, we need to pastor our people. But for the rest of you all, don't feel like you have to bear the burden of shepherding and pastoring. And then if we can help you with curriculum suggestions, ways to handle a problem in your group, something that needs fixed, please come to us. We want to help you with that. There are funds available to you if you need something. So if you need like paper goods, if you need snacks, if you need a little bit of coffee, I've got some funds for you on that. If you need help buying curriculum or something like that, there's funds available for you. I want to be able to support you in those things. Any last wrap-up questions? It's 9:03. Thank you for your patience with those extra 3 minutes. Okay, if you have sent your guide to me, your little monthly checkup, then you are free to go. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks, everybody on the call. Have a great night. If you guys can text in your notes too, that'd be great. Thanks. See y'all.
What time is that?